You are standing at the edge of a season that will not look like the last. God is shifting the atmosphere around your finances, not a single gift that fades, but a change of phase, a new cycle, a new rhythm, a new environment in which provision moves differently. The uncertainty you once wore like armor, the restless hustle that kept you tired and small, the quiet fear of not having enough, those weights are not meant for what is coming. You will not carry survival habits into this appointed place. Maybe you have already noticed a subtle rearrangement inside you. Decisions that used to spin you in circles now land with clarity. Your steps, once tentative, begin to find firmness. That inward reordering is the first whisper of transition. In this season, seeds sprout faster. What you touch responds more richly. Doors open that do not drain you. Opportunities arrive with ease instead of exhaustion. You are being positioned strategically, not by accident, and not alone. Yet discernment matters. There will be people, patterns, and comforts that belong to the old cycle and cannot ride with you into this new climate. God is not removing them to punish you, but to protect the promise. Release, therefore, is an act of faith, not loss. Do not attempt to build the new with the old blueprints of fear and scarcity. The heavens have authorized this move. Your part is to flow with it, to receive with hands unclenched and a heart open to reformation. Lean into the hush of this moment. Listen for the gentle instructions that steer you away from what stalls and toward what yields. This is a season that will redefine your relationship with money, work, rest, and provision. What is the one mindset you feel called to let go of today? Share a single word or sentence in the comments. Be honest, be brief. In the next video, we will explore the first concrete step God is asking you to take as this new financial season unfolds. You are standing on the edge of a new season, and you feel it first inside, a quiet sharpening, an inner compass aligning with a direction you could not see before. The change begins not with a bank statement, but with thought, the way you name possibility, the stories you allow yourself to tell about worth and provision. That inward shift is sacred work. It is God rearranging the landscape of your mind so your hands will follow more naturally. As this new phase unfolds, you will notice rhythms changing. Where you once hustled out of fear, you will begin to steward out of confidence. Where you measured survival, you will now measure fruitfulness. Your decisions become clearer because something in you has been authorized to move differently, more intentional, less reactive. Opportunities will feel less like battles to win and more like doors opening in alignment with what God has prepared for you. But transition asks for discernment. Not everything that served you before will serve you now. People, habits, routines, even places of comfort may belong to an old cycle. Letting go feels risky, and that is why God escorts the release with protection. He is not stripping you bare to punish you. He is clearing space for what is coming. Trust the pruning. Trust the gentle removals that keep your roots intact and ready to drink deeper. Plant with the expectation that your seed will respond faster in this season. Touch your work with gratitude and watch it yield richer returns. Guard your heart against old scarcity speaks. Replace them with declarations of provision, stewardship, and rest. Move slowly, listen deeply, and obey the small nudges. They are the truest compass. Curious to know what small habit God might be asking you to release first? Share in the comments one thing you feel ready to let go of this season. Your word could help someone else step into theirs. In the next video, we'll explore practical steps to rewire your daily routines so they match this new financial rhythm. Come ready to take one sacred action. You are standing on the edge of something ordained, and you feel it in the quiet between your breaths. There is a subtle rearrangement happening inside you. Thoughts that once crowded and confused now unfold with a gentle clarity. Decisions that used to take you to the late hours and restless nights begin to land with a surprising calm. This is not merely a season of blessing. It is a recalibration of how God intends to steward your finances, your work, and the rhythms of your rest. As the pace of your inner life slows and deepens, notice what surfaces: old fears, worn habits, loyalties to scarcity. These are not judgment calls, they are signposts. God is inviting you to release them, one by one, so the new structure can be built in their place. Release does not mean loss without care. It is surrender with protection. You will find that when you let go of survival strategies, provision arrives arranged, often through people and pathways you did not expect. Your hands will begin to engage differently with opportunities. Where you once hustled to earn a margin, you will now steward momentum. Where you once measured success by how busy you were, you will discover the power of rested, deliberate action. Faith in this season looks less like anxious striving and more like faithful response. A posture that trusts God's timing and follows the small nudges of clarity when they come. This transformation will ask something practical of you, a willingness to change routine, to create boundaries around time and money, to discern relationships that no longer fit the new landscape. It will ask courage, because new alignment often means saying no to what once felt safe. But remember, every step toward the new is covered. You are being led with wisdom larger than your current understanding. What is one small habit you sense is ready to be released? Share it below. Your honesty could be the spark someone else needs. Stay close. In the next video, we will explore concrete steps for sowing into this new financial season and securing the ground beneath your feet. You are standing at the threshold of something ordained. Feel it quietly unspool beneath the noise that once controlled your choices. It's not a sudden windfall. It is a season change, a recalibration of the way provision moves in your life. Decisions that used to spin you are beginning to land with clarity. You breathe, and the fog lifts a little more. Move slowly through this truth. Notice how your thoughts no longer orbit fear the way they used to. There is a firmness taking root in you. It guides where you step and how you steward what you already possess. What you plant now responds quicker. What you touch begins to carry more fruit. Doors open with less force. People and opportunities appear in ways that make sense, as if divinely rearranged for your next chapter. But sacred transitions require discernment. The new season will not tolerate old ways of survival. The habits that kept you safe in the drought will not serve you in abundance. Relational ties, work patterns, even mental scripts that belong to the past must be released. God is pruning, not punishing. When people or circumstances are removed, it is with a protection you can trust. Trust the gentle rigor of that removal. It is setting a cleaner space for what He is about to build. You are not asked to carry yesterday's scarcity into tomorrow's promise. That would dim the miracle. Instead, receive the inward change as your first credential for the season. Let your renewed thinking shape your actions. Let clarity lead your steps. Walk with expectancy, but also with wisdom. Test every alignment by the peace it brings and the clarity it cultivates. A question for you. What is the first old habit you sense being called to release? Share it below with a short, honest line, not to expose, but to acknowledge. Stay with this moment. In the next video, we'll explore practical rhythms and spiritual practices to anchor this new financial season. Go slow. Watch closely. You are standing on the edge of a threshold. Beneath your feet, the ground feels steadier than before, and inside you a new cadence is forming. Not hurried, not frantic, but sure. God is rearranging the landscape of your finances, shifting systems, relationships, and rhythms so that provision no longer chases you. You begin to inhabit it. This is a season of repositioning, and the first thing to notice is the change in how you think. Decisions that used to drain you now come with a quiet clarity. That inner firmness is a signal you are being realigned. Still, transition asks you to choose. Some people, patterns, and practices belong to an older, weathered season and will not travel with you. Release is not punishment. It is pruning done by a careful hand. God removes with protection, not cruelty, so that the new branches can bear fruit that lasts. Watch where your peace goes. If a relationship, a hustle, or a habit stirs anxiety instead of clarity, it is likely rooted in an outdated survival rhythm. Let it go, gently, prayerfully. You are not being abandoned. You are being prepared. Discernment grows when you slow down and listen. Ask, what decision brings me peace? What opportunity aligns with my calling? Which habits multiply my capacity instead of consuming my attention? Pay attention to what responds faster now. Seeds you sowed in quiet months, investments of time and faith that suddenly produce a richer harvest. That acceleration is proof that the cycle has changed. Move with courage, but with eyes open. Guard the doorway of your new season against old scarcity stories. Build habits of rest and wise stewardship. Surround yourself with people who see the new you and will speak truth. You are being positioned strategically, and this is only the opening movement. Curious about the exact signs that confirm God's financial reorientation in your life? Share one thing below that you sense God is asking you to release. A habit, a fear, an investment of energy. I'll read your comment and speak a short prayer over it. In the next video, we'll explore the 3 practical steps to accelerate this new season and protect what God is building. You are standing at the threshold of a financial season that feels different before you even step through. There is a quiet rearranging inside you. Decisions that once tangled you now come with a calm edge. You move with less hesitation. You carry a steadier breath. This inward settling is not accidental. It is the first gentle confirmation that God is clearing a path. Listen for a new cadence. Where you once hustled from anxiety, you will learn to work from alignment. Where fear made you clutch, a growing trust will teach your hands to give and your heart to receive. These are slow changes. They are not showy. They are the kind that rewire your rhythms. How you plan, how you rest, how you say yes, and how you say no. Discernment will be your companion. People and patterns that fit the old cycle will surface, sometimes tenderly, sometimes sharply, asking to be released. You won't be abandoned in that letting go. God removes with protection, not cruelty. He nudges what hinders so the new can land without debris. Pay attention to the small tests. A sudden offer that asks you to return to scarcity thinking, a relationship that drains your peace, a habit of comparing your pace to someone else's. These are litmus tests for the new season. Respond with steady obedience. Create margins for listening. Give yourself room to hear God's next step rather than crowding the space with frantic action. Plant where you feel directed. Be faithful in small seeds, integrity in meetings, generosity in little things, disciplined rest. The harvest will honor that fidelity. Opportunities will arrive with less friction because you have been repositioned strategically. You are not being invited into abundance so you can repeat old patterns. You are being invited into a new formation of heart and habit. Stay teachable. Keep your hands open. Watch how provision begins to move differently. Kinder, more creative, more timely. Curiosity. What is one question you have about stepping into this new season? Comment below with one small habit you're ready to release. And in the next video, we'll explore how to steward the openings God is giving you with practical steps and prophetic direction. You are standing at the margin of a season that has been quietly forming beneath your feet, something vast and steady that will rearrange the way you relate to work, money, and rest. It is gentle and unavoidable at once, a gravity that pulls you toward greater alignment, not out of pressure, but because weariness finally gives way to clarity. In this new chapter, God is not merely adding blessings. He is remapping your landscape so that decisions land truer, fruits mature faster, and your steps require less frantic energy. Feel how your thoughts lengthen into patience, how choices you used to debate with anxiety now settle inside you with a calm you recognize as God's voice. That interior shift is the hinge of the season. It is the signal that what you are being given will not tolerate old survival patterns, not because you have failed, but because the design of the new cannot operate within the shape of the old. People, routines, contracts, expectations that once kept you afloat may be released, and that releasing is an act of divine protection. You are being preserved, not punished. Move slowly in this space. Ask God for discernment before you re-enter old systems. When opportunities come, test them against the new rhythm you are discovering. Does this invite rest? Does it expand stewardship without eroding peace? Does it align with the clarity that now resides in you? Guard against nostalgia for what was familiar if it will steal the abundance that is forming. Trust that the removal of what no longer fits is part of God's strategy to position you where provision multiplies and influence settles into stability. Now, quiet your heart and consider one question. What one thought about money are you willing to let go of so that God can place something larger in you? Share that reflection in the comments. A single line, a truth you want released. Be curious about the answer He will give. Watch the next video to begin practical steps for walking into this new financial season with both faith and wisdom. You are standing at the edge of something arranged by heaven, not a random blessing, but a deliberate change of season. Feel it. Your thoughts are rearranging. Decisions that once felt heavy now arrive with a quiet certainty. That inward clarity is the first footprint of what God is doing. A reorientation of how you move, choose, and receive. Breathe into that. Move slowly. Let it settle. In this new phase, what you plant responds faster. Small seeds yield richer fruit. Opportunities come with less friction because you are being positioned strategically. Doors open because your frequency matches the new season's demand. You are not being asked to hustle more. You are being invited to align more deeply. The provision that follows is not a one-off. It is a change of environment where rhythm, systems, and results are different. But discernment must accompany this move. There are people, patterns, and habits that belong to the old cycle. Survival habits, fear-driven choices, worn-out rhythms of work and rest that will not fit the new landscape. God is removing them with protection, not cruelty. When a relationship, a habit, or a mindset is released, understand that it is clear to make room, not to punish you. Watch how removal often precedes multiplication. Now is the time to examine quietly. Which habits keep you in scarcity? Which voices in your circle speak with the old frequency? Where does fear still direct your wallet, your time, your yes and no? Hold these questions gently, but do not ignore them. Your response will determine how naturally you enter what God is building. Be curious about this process. What if the very thing you are afraid to let go of is the thing preventing the blessing from settling fully? Pause, reflect, and speak honestly to the Lord about it. Comment below one habit or fear you sense is ready to be released. A short, honest word. Stay with that question, and in the next video I'll guide you through the first practical step to enter this new financial season with faith and wisdom. This is your closing moment of invitation. A soft, sacred exhale after a long season of striving. You have been led here not by chance, but by intention. God is rearranging the landscape of your provision, and you can feel the contours of that new land in the way your thoughts steady, the way your heart stops reaching for safety, as if it were a lifeline. Breathe into that steadiness. Let the rhythm slow. Allow the promise to sink beneath your skin. You will not be hurried into this change. It arrives like dawn, subtle at first, then undeniable. Where fear once set the agenda, clarity now sets the pace. Where scarcity whispered, abundance begins to sing. But this shift asks for something of you, not sacrifice for its own sake, but surrender to what must be released. Old habits, worn-out alliances, the frantic strategies that kept you surviving instead of flourishing. These will fall away with a gentle, sovereign hand. Trust that removal is protection, not punishment. Pay attention to the small confirmations, a conviction that will not be ignored, an open door that requires courage to enter, relationships that align, and others that gently dissolve. These are the fingerprints of a season change. Respond with discernment. Walk with humility. Receive with gratitude. Steward with faith. If you find your heart stirring right now, let curiosity lead you. What is the first thing you sense God asking you to release or to embrace? Pause and listen. Then, when you are ready, share one word in the comments that names your next step. A single word of faith, of release, or of hope. Your word may encourage someone else standing where you once stood. Stay with this expectancy. In the next video, we will explore practical, kingdom-centered steps to steward this new financial season. How to plant with wisdom, protect your peace, and multiply what God is giving you. Click to continue, and come with an open hand and a ready heart.